Hello, friends. It's Chapo. To begin to explicate your theory of what this movie sort of predicts.
There exists no written manifesto for Bolsonaroism until this movie. This movie is the greatest summary of Bolsonaro's entire ideology that I've ever seen. Because, as if you know anything about Bolsonaro, his economic beliefs, stuff like that, it's kind of fluid. He just doesn't know what's going on. The real thing the new Brazilian right is about uncle magic. Just insane homoeroticism couched in sort of chauvinistic heterosexuality. Just Bope just fucking killing everybody. And that is what this movie is about. This movie is about a asocial Bope officer who is trying to navigate being an uncle sexual while also being engaged with a woman. It's about how just there are so many sickos out. The only way to protect society is for cops to kill 30,000 people a day.
While looking cool.
The most important part. You have
That's
to
the
be
most important
aesthetic.
Part. It's the aesthetic.
Cobra is aesthetic.
Yes.
A Brazilian cop, aesthetic.
Yes. It's not just our cops, just some fucking fat pig and 3 layers of body armor and a hot dog
Oakley's.
neck.
No. They gotta be swag Cobra.
Yeah.
And this is a look into Bolsonaro's brain.
Oh, absolutely. He thinks he's Cobra.
He is Cobra. Because okay, what happens next?
Okay, so after Cobra does alpha dominance to the guys sitting in a parked car in his spot or whatever, he walks into his sort of cool beachside house. You know, he might as well be in Rio for that matter.
Actually, yeah.
yeah. So and then inexplicably, it's shown him going from there, and he's walking up to his door, looking at a newspaper. It's sort of folded over, and he's looking at it, reading it. Yeah. And you're oh, Cobra's checking out the news. What does he do though? He opens up a sort of Webster barbecue grill right outside of his door, takes the lid off of it, throws the newspaper into it. It's not it's like the coals are burning. It's just empty.
Yeah.
And he just throws the newspaper on top of the barbecue grill, puts the lid back over it, and he's like, "Oh, that's my newspaper. That's my newspaper.
That's where the newspaper belongs."
Yes, that's exactly. That's where the lying press should go.
Press, put it in the garbage. Put it on fire.
Burn it with flames. Okay, then he walks into his sort of cool beachside apartment. It's a cool single guy pad. He also has not taken off his sunglasses.
No.
Has not taken off his leather gloves.
Never.
Has not taken off his duster jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into the amazing the scene, should we talk about how his apartment is appointed?
It's an amazing place. It looks like something that a 12-year-old interior designed. He's got a cool rhino sculpture on top of his television, and he's got a styrofoam model of the Empire State Building.
I'd like to point out who also has a rhino sculpture on top of their television.
Holy shit, it's you.
Oh my god.
You're fucking Cobra.
You are Cobra.
You're Cobra. Marion motherfucking Cobra.
I think what we learned is that there is a little bit of Cobra in all of us, or at least we'd like there to be.
Yeah. He's clearly also was a nerd and an early
yes, this is also
computer
interesting.
adopter because he has he has one of those PCs in his
early
apartment
PC
in 1986. Not a lot of people had that.
I guess it's implied that he only uses it for solving crimes or whatever.
It's where he keeps his files. We find out about later that he has files, which is very adorable.
So
the idea that the Carnival cop is fucking got a bunch of, is doing investigations in between just shaking his ass in the street, and murdering people.
Then he so again, sunglasses, leather gloves still on. You come home after a hard day of work. What do you want to do? You got to relax.
Yeah.
You go to the fridge, takes out some cold pizza, carton of eggs. Classic, chill.
All your macros.
Yeah. He sits down at his work desk with the pizza, carton of eggs. Opens up the pizza box. There's a single old slice of pizza in there. What does he do? Start eating it?
No. That's for fucking losers. That's for betas.
That is
for Argentinians.
No, yeah. That's what Lula's government would have done. That's what they made the police do.
Yeah.
Which is just eat pizza with their hands.
Pathetic.
Yeah, Lula
or on a plate.
Yeah, Lula wanted the cops to have their fingers dirty so their guns or knives would slip out of their hands when it comes time to arrest the scumbags.
So what does Cobra do? He takes out a pair of like gigantic like desk scissors, not like cooking shears, like scissors that you would use to cut, large quantities of paper.
I use them for my projects. Make dioramas of the crime scene.
He cuts the pizza with a pair of sort of office scissors and just cuts just the tip off.
Paleo.
Tip, yeah.
And just makes
He circumcises
the pizza and just makes a perfect smaller triangle of pizza. Throws the other half, like the other 2/3 of the pizza back in the box, and just leaves the little pizza triangle on his desk. And then does he eat it? Like, does he eat it at any point? I forget.
He takes a bite.
He takes a bite and forgets about it. Then he opens up the carton of eggs. I'm like, oh, is he going to crack an egg into a beer? That's, sort of like a little bit of a Rocky reference, maybe a little too on the nose. No. Oh, no, he won't. There's not even eggs in the carton. I was like, what? Fucking twist. Opens up the carton of eggs. It's all his gun cleaning supplies that he keeps in his refrigerator in a empty carton of eggs.
Yeah.
And then he just begins to just chill, lay back, relax, clean the handgun that just burned his dick off. He's actually going to clean the flesh, the curdled flesh off the barrel of it.
Well, okay. Have you ever you thought you're shooting a 45 APC round at a scumbag, and your foreskin just comes plopping out of the floor? It's really embarrassing.
And then, he turns on the TV, and it's like a local news reporting where they're like, this is the 15th knife murder that's happened in the last 2 days. Being carried out by the same perpetrator who's would have been caught already were it not for our liberal justice system. That at that point he takes off his sunglasses. For the first time in the movie? Like,
you have to take them off for the dead.
Yeah. No, it's like he does the Chris Farley and the Schlitz gay commercial. He just flips it up. Bow, bow.
Murders.
So so from there. It cuts to, it's introduced the concept of the axe cult and the fact that there's been 15 of these knife axe murders throughout the city.
Which makes me wonder, when the guy went and shot up the grocery store, was he just so excited by the whole project that he had to do his own thing? Because he's not fitting the MO of the rest of the murders at all.
Well, no, I told you he was part of the Axe Gang Build caucus. He was slightly a splinter group.
Ugh, those records.
Then we see the Axe Gang, the lead Axe Gang murderer, played by, what's his name? Brian
Thompson.
Brian Thompson, who you might remember as the alien bounty hunter from the X-Files.
Yeah.
The dude who you had to kill with an ice pick to the back of the brain. He has one of the most singular faces.
He's got that Robert Zadar head. The just huge, blocky skull. Very notable.
He is a scary looking guy for sure. And they show him just him and his gang just fucking just smash the window of some lady's car who's coming home from work and just kill her, just murder the shit out of her. So and then then Stallone's back at police chief headquarters, and they're talking. Oh wait, they're in the morgue, even better, and they're sitting around talking about hey, how do we investigate these crimes? What do we do here? No one saw any of these murders happen. What the fuck? How do we stop this?
And the Cobra says very reasonably, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to try to stop them. I'm going to catch the bad guys." And then the cuck cop says, you'll violate too many civil rights.
He goes, "This is not your specialty.
We need to do midnight basketball. That's what's going to stop these murderers."
He's like, "Get out of the crime lab, Cobra."
Yeah.
You don't know. Yeah. You this is not for you. But it's funny that he's in the police morgue, and this is a theme that you'll see throughout the rest of the movie as well. Is that everywhere he goes, he can't stop fidgeting with things that are around him. So he's literally twirling a bone saw on his finger while these guys are just guys know anything about fingerprints or DNA or something?
No, he's a fussy little baby, is what he is.
So basically, the cops are just saying just go home and wait to do what you're told, Cobra. The real cops are not investigating this crime now. And then it begins. They say that this is a phrase that's repeated throughout the movie, but never explained. They say that he works on the Zombie Squad.
The Zombie Squad sounds badass.
Matt, what you looked into where he got this phrase from, right?
Apparently, it's from a Belgian police unit. Chris, you said.
Yes, he was inspired by a real-life zombie squad in Belgium who were empowered to, the quote in the IMDb trivia is very funny. Well, let me look it up real quick. Because it makes as little sense knowing the inspiration as it does in the movie.
Hello, I'm from Le Zombie Squad. I'm here to make sure that your wine is up to code.
Stallone said he got the idea from LAPD's Zombie Squad from the real-life Zombie Squad in Belgium, comprised of cops who go out and, quote, go out at night and handle crazed criminals on their own terms.
What does that mean?
So, vigilantes?
Yeah.
But Matt,
Murdering people?
didn't you say that has an eerie...
It just makes me think of the Brabant killings, which was this mysterious spree of they were actually very similar to the first scene in this movie, where guys would roll into grocery stores and just start shooting everybody. They've been often linked to like the.
But this was in Belgium, right?
To the special in the 80s.
In the 80s,
Yeah, it often got leaked to like special forces and cops and stuff. At least that's the theory. It'd be funny though if he was inspired by those guys who literally were basically doing axe gang shit.
Yeah. So then we're treated to one of many amazing 80s style movie songs in this movie. This one's just called "Hold On to Your Vision." I tried to record enough of the lyrics to this, but all I could hear was "Hold on to your vision." And this is very important because the female lead of the movie and the future ex-Mrs. Sylvester Stallone, Bridget Nielsen, is driving by the scene of one of these murders and accidentally gets a look at the face of Brian Thompson.
Even though she doesn't know that any crime has been committed. She just
knows that he's scary looking.
Yeah.
And like he pulls away. He has a very distinctive face. And so then we see his Cobra and his partner, who's a very important character. He's the uncle.
He's the uncle.
He is the uncle.
Yeah, he's the key uncle component of this entire thing.
Yeah,
Stallone is the nephew. The uncle is someone he wears sort of like a newsboy cap. And
He was Poppy on Seinfeld, if anyone remembers.
Oh yeah. He wears a newsboy cap, and like his sort of one character affectation or like personality trait is that he loves eating candy.
He loves a good sweet. He loves sweets.
Yeah, and this is a frequent, like, people who know the Brazilian right will know, like, for like Bolsonaro voters, like a big issue they have is like they're worried their uncle is eating too many sweets. So anyone who knows about Brazilian politics knows like a white conservative Brazilian, like, Jair, I love you, I want to kiss you, like, let's to kick this soccer ball around, but my uncle's eating too much candy. Is there a way we can get a program where like the owner of the local shop limits the amount of candy my uncle buys, because I want my uncle around for a really long time?
We're then treated to what is like a really amazing 80s movie montage that almost approaches like, Eisenstein levels of like experimental like film cutting technique. So we there's another song. The lyrics I've written down here are another hot day in the city, another hot day in the city, sweat pouring down, no it ain't pretty. The air is thick with dreams on fire. We're living on the edge of a knife. Angel of the city, angel of the city. And the montage is cutting back and forth between the axe guy sharpening his knife, Bridget Nielsen doing a like sort of, high fashion photo shoot that involves her sort of voguing in front of
robots,
in front of robot sculptures.
Yes,
but they're not. They're immobile robot sculptures that are like, crafted out of like, pipes and like, sheet metal and shit like that. Like they look like dog shit.
Yeah.
They look like Short Circuit with less personality.
Yeah. It's like the Rock and Herbie Hancock video.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And like she's voguing and she's being like, shot at by a photographer who's played by the neocon guy from The Thick of It.
David
and,
Rash.
Yeah. And also
Sledgehammer.
from Succession, Felix favorite show.
Yeah, he loves that show very much.
But also Cobra and his uncle are also investigating the knife murders by doing like, police work, which in this case is moving from one to another, like on an increasingly gay series of locations. Like
he's going through the LA demimonde interviewing people to figure out who's doing the murders. From what I could tell, he's mostly just asking people, "Hey, did you do these murders?"
He goes to a tattoo parlor,
right?
And he's just like, "Hey, you know about these murders?"
Yeah,
and then
he's very limited when not killing people.
Yeah.
Like his investigative skills mostly consist of like